since it's another day. Billions will kneel and pray. Anything to aid escape from the world so cold and gray.
That's a post-2000 rap beef, boy.
Oh, we're back
We are back.
on this gloriously hot day.
It's already balmy in here.
Yeah, it's definitely balmy. As some of you already know, LL Studios lacks all forms of climate control.
We do have a heater.
We have a heater,
Kind of.
which that's like basic climate control.
Yeah. I'm going to get one of those roll-around fake, like the Amish made ones.
Yeah,
Those are,
yeah.
you can't see it, but I'm doing the Italian hand gesture.
Yes.
Pick one of those up for us this year.
So, it's going to be a regular sized episode, but just bear with us throughout because we're probably going to get progressively more sluggish,
Angry, maybe.
angry, and those little,
Yeah.
it's just sweat hitting the floor.
Sweat
Don't worry about
sounds.
it. But I got a glass of ice water.
Got a bottle somewhere.
We got stuff to try to keep us cool, and we're hoping that soon this foul weather will break. Speaking of weather. Weather is a topic that we'll be discussing. That's our proverbial meat of this meat and potato podcast of the day.
Because I finally found, we talked before about all these things, about, the important things, the meat, and the, meat for strong men and milk for the babes.
Yes.
I finally found a portion of milk that I enjoy.
Well, yeah.
Because I'm, on the base level, I'm a basic bitch.
Yeah.
This, the beginning thing I told you I wanted to talk about has triggered my inner high school me.
Okay.
The Eminem dropping the secret album this week.
Kamikaze.
It had myself and a few other grown men acting like 16-year-old teenagers.
Yeah.
When we found out about Kamikaze, we considered calling off work and listening to it. And then within a few days of its release, basically it was just a straight fire.
Yeah.
Which, if anybody listens to hip-hop music at all, it's been lacking as of late because of the mumble rap and all the drug addicts that are in there just drinking cough syrup and doing each other in the butt.
Yeah.
Long dick style.
It's for some people, a lot of entertainers and artists to me are just on the same level as like a scat artist.
Yeah.
Somebody who shoves paint up their ass and then splatters it upon a fucking...
Poops it out.
Anybody that like the whole like medium of their art involves you having to be completely fucking drugged and fucked up to do it.
Yeah.
Is the same equivalent as scat art, in my opinion.
I get it.
You could disagree with me if you want.
That's pretty much all it is nowadays.
That's the thing. Unfortunately, when it comes to producing art, in my opinion, it requires sobriety so dry that your brain literally has no other choice but to escape into other realms to simply get by.
Right. Now, it's funny, all the people that he talked shit about in this new album, the only one to respond to it so far was the skinny, homosexual looking, which is fine, but I'm just giving you a description, the homosexual looking heartless felon from Cleveland, Ohio, known only as MGK.
Machine Gun Kelly.
Yes. He came out with a response diss yesterday, which was okay.
Yeah.
But he's about to get his face cut off and fed to him.
Someone yesterday I saw one called him Old Revolver Sally.
Oh man, I don't know. It's pretty exciting. It's my milk.
Yeah.
I like to think I'm some sort of higher evolved being. I've changed myself with alchemy, but yet I still have these basic little trivialities that I go back to from time to time.
Yeah.
Reminds me of the good old days.
It's like sugar water for bees.
Yeah,
they
you
like
need
it,
that
but
too. It's necessary, I found, until they get a thoroughly established hive.
Yeah.
Whatever that means for me, but
yeah, it happens.
It does.
But yeah, I found it all very interesting.
I would highly recommend everybody check it out on YouTube or perhaps purchase Kamikaze.
Yeah.
Listen to it. Maybe get it in your ears.
Just listen to it a little bit. We're not being paid by them, by the way.
No, we're not, but it's really good music if you enjoy hatred. But anyway, on to the closer to the meat, I guess. We have anything else? So I wanted to mention the T-shirt giveaway again.
Yeah.
Because,
Yeah.
we still got some shirts.
We need to send them out.
If you're trying to get any of these fantastic shirts made from Infidel Custom on Facebook, give us a review on iTunes. Screenshot it, send it to bonesandtubs@gmail.com.
Yeah. Exactly.
Simple. I think that's all I've got.
Simple.
For now.
Yeah.
Other than the topic.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you said you wanted to talk a couple things.
QAnon.
Well, we didn't get to talk about John McCain's fucking Narcissism Tour 2018.
Yeah.
Where he took apparently before he died, he planned out a week-long celebration of activities of his death like some sort of goddamn Roman emperor would.
I wonder if he did it or if they did it in his name.
Does it really matter at this point?
No, it doesn't matter. But it's gross.
The stoic in me speaks out
into
the violent fervor saying, this is bougie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, bougie.
Yeah,
it's
fine.
Bougie.
You know what I mean? Bread and circuses, whatever.
Yeah. That's
all I really want to say about it. But
I'm glad he's dead. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry.
I could care either way.
Well, it's just like I think that people are starting to kind of come to anarchy whether they want to or not. Everyone's starting to look at these men in suits that don't represent them, and they're realizing, like, really? So as the old ones die off, it just gives me pause and a positive feeling to know that they're not being replaced necessarily.
I'm going to take a note here on this. I refuse to put any more energy into that man because he's dead now.
Yeah.
And to remind myself of one thing, and I'm going to take it from a Macklemore song.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not a big Macklemore fan, but Toe Beans was listening to a song one time, and there was something on there, and I'm sure it's not from him.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd have to look it up to see who it originally was from. But I did like it, and that's that everybody dies twice.
Mm-hmm.
You die the first time, and that's when you actually, like, your physical form dies.
Then you die when people quit talking about you?
The last time somebody says your name.
Oh. Well, hopefully his second death is quickly upon us. QAnon like to refer to him as no name because they wanted him to die quick.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why I give him nothing. Yeah. I turn my back upon him.
John McStain.
Yeah. But anyways, did you hear that?
Yeah, the ice cube.
It's so fucking loud.
But it sounds so cool and refreshing.
It's crisp and clear on the audio. I'll give it that.
Yeah, it is really good.
People will be listening and they'll be like, God, I want ice water right now.
Man, I want some of that ice water and shit. Thirsty the motherfucker.
But you mentioned that something about the whole Colin Kaepernick Nike thing, and I
only like it because I just wonder if Nike has gotten on the Q train, because Q is talking about all the people that are made to destroy themselves, like a ritualistic suicide.
Like picking somebody that is very polarizing.
Yeah,
as a spokesperson, especially
Nike. They're a fucking sports brand, right? And they should know that, like, all of the sports channels, all of the NFL viewership and attendance is, like, dropped. So why the fuck would you choose Colin Kaepernick as your face of a fucking corporation?
Now, here's the thing, and this is what I'm going to reiterate for anybody out there listening, and this may very well be your first episode. I've made it clear in past episodes, I don't care that he kneels.
No.
He has a gripe.
Yeah.
And there's more disrespectful things, theoretically, he could be doing.
There's more disrespectful things that people should pay attention to with Nike as well.
Exactly. Someone did raise a good point, though. They said it was a bit hypocritical on his part that apparently not all lives matter because Nike makes their products in third world countries in sweatshops.
Yeah, except for slaves. Slaves don't matter.
Chinese people don't matter.
Slavery
apparently.
And stuff, but not slaves.
I mean, I would point that out, but at the same time, like, you know, it's really just... you know, people keep blowing their own dog whistles.
Yeah.
You know.
I like to see all these people on Facebook autistically screeching about how much they love the country and how much they're burning their Nikes and all this. And somebody posted a meme with Colin Kaepernick's face, and they're like, if you want to know the craziest thing behind the Kaepernick-Nike marriage, Google Nike slave trade or Nike slave factories.
Yeah.
Which has nothing to do with Colin Kaepernick. People are going to do it.
Yeah.
Burn them for the right reason.
Yeah.
Get a pair of Toms.
But that's the thing, though. Like, you can't get mad about the fucking sweatshops now or anything like that because, well, people who would suddenly get mad at it, that's fake outrage because, one, you'd have to be a goddamn idiot if you didn't know that that's what was going on with these fucking sweatshops.
Yeah.
And two, it's fake outrage. It's false outrage.
It's like your 5 minutes of hate.
And, sir, if I could, I would slap you across the face. Anybody that suddenly decides that fuck Nike.
Yeah.
No, you should have been saying fuck Nike like fucking 30 years ago.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm just saying.
What the fuck is going on here?
Like, for fuck's sake.
QAnon's off the chain. What's all this about? Dudes in rabbit outfits?
Man, QAnon. You silly bastard.
I don't have time to keep up with all of it. I just wanted to mention last night's shit, and we're already well past that. There's a lot going on here. They were talking in code. It's up here somewhere. One of the ones I saw from the second, it was talking about Bill Priestep, head of the FBI counterintelligence. Was a cooperating witness. Peter Strzok, I guess that's how you say it.
Yeah.
Strzok. Deputy Assistant Director of Counterintelligence, FBI, cooperating witness. And it just keeps listing off all these people that are high up that are cooperating in whatever investigation's going on that's supposed to occur in November, where they dropped the bomb involving all this government pedophilia and all this other collusion of government cabal.
Yeah.
And then we move up here to QAnon Drop 2060, Big Tech Bloodlines, Data, Genetics, and Social Media. High-level Facebook execs exiting Facebook after the DARPA connection. Sergey Brin, Google founder, born in Moscow, was married to Anne Wojcicki, 23andMe founder, the genetic collection.
Yeah.
So we've got big information, big genetic information. She was, founder of 23andMe, was sister-in-law to Susan Wojcicki, CEO of YouTube, and it just continues. All these people that are the heads are either foreign-born or all connected to DARPA in one way or another.
Nice.
So that's pretty exciting.
Yeah.
You know? And then it says here, how might DARPA, a.k.a. Google, play a role in the spy campaign against POTUS? Think Gmail. Think Gmail drafts. Think ES resignation. It will all connect eventually. Then it goes on later on to talk about what's happening today. Apparently there was a meeting in the House and the Senate involving Jeff Sessions, who, for some reason, and this goes back to the trust the plan thing that makes me uncomfortable, but Sessions is supposedly on our side.
Oh, E.L. Fudge himself?
Yeah, and I don't know.
Listen, if he said today, I'm offering a case of fudge stripe rounds for every U.S. citizen,
Yeah.
I might be on his side.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I don't know about you, but I do love those delicious, delicious Keebler fudge stripe rounds. Hashtag not a sponsor.
Hashtag not a sponsor, indeed.
It's too bad I just gave up sugar.
Yeah. That's good, though.
Yeah.
Both getting on the diet train.
Yeah.
Once again. This time for good, though.
Back in the fucking saddle, apparently.
Back in the saddle with science. You know, scientific method and all that.
Yes.
It's good. So, I don't know, man. The QAnon thing is a fucking gravy train that is just blasting towards what appears to be a giant building with no signs of stopping.
Yeah.
Pretty sure it's laden with explosives. That building is the deep state or the cabal or whatever. Hopefully it explodes and falls into its own footprint, much like the Twin Towers. You guys can watch that live on qmap.pub if you're into it, you know?
Yeah, definitely. Go check it out.
It's so goddamn hot in here.
I know, it's warm.
It's like a box of heat.
This episode might run short.
That's fine. I don't think it will, but we'll try our best.
Yeah.
We'll do it for you. We're doing it for you, you know, dear listener.
The listeners.
The followers, the people of the Bones and Tubs Nation. You know, they don't care. They've got AC on. They're like, what are you guys bitching about?
Yeah.
Tell me about something. Tell me about HAARP.
Yeah. Oh, HAARP.
Tell me about that high-frequency active auroral research program.
Well,
Tell me about it.
That HAARP, I believe, was started in 1993, correct?
Yes.
But mind you, the history of HAARP and what it's about goes back a lot further.
Yeah, it's hard to nail down a date, especially with classified government programs.
Yeah, but I did have somebody who, when they were watched a bunch of videos about it, and they were talking about how originally the first like real experiments that HAARP is supposedly into started with one individual that we have talked about on the show before, and that's Mr. Nikola Tesla.
Ah, yes.
The Tesla Tower. We talked about this on the show.
Yeah.
The notion of shooting fucking energy into the ionosphere and then it being charged up by said ionosphere and then bouncing back and it blew up the fucking facility, right?
Yes.
Shut it down. Well, that's where our story begins because HAARP is physically speaking, it's a gigantic antenna array.
It's a 1 mile, 1 mile square?
Yeah.
Of just antennas. You can find it on Google. If you type in HAARP into the image search, it'll show you just a massive erection of, antennas. Not a penis erection.
But yeah, it's a giant antennae array in Alaska.
Yes.
Of all places, it seems like it's a strange place, so far flung and so remote, to put something of this nature. And I've heard through my research, I've garnered multiple theories about what HAARP actually is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Okay, so the above the board HAARP shit, and this is what the government will tell you. And mind you, the first 3 or 4 pages of Google will tell you this is what it's for, and it's for studying the ionosphere.
Oh, that's it.
That's it.
Just to study it.
Yeah, it's just for studying the ionosphere.
It sounds so innocent when they put it that way.
Right? That's the thing. And but like I said, again, that's the above the board reason for it. Now, do you want the below the board reason for it?
That's the whole reason I'm here.
Well, yeah, we are a conspiracy podcast.
We live down there.
We live below the board. Okay, so weather control is nothing new to the U.S. government.
No, actually, I'll get to that later. Never mind. Sorry.
No, you're fine.
Do you want me to do it? Or
Yeah, go ahead.
Now, when you say it's nothing new, I'm assuming you're talking about... This is an article titled, Meet Ben Livingston, the Father of Weaponized Weather, posted 7 years ago on casecorner.com. Not a sponsor. Veteran weather modification expert Ben Livingston is a former Navy physicist who briefed President Lyndon B. Big Old Dick Johnson on the effectiveness of weather control back in the 1960s. In the 1960s, in quotations bolded and underlined, during the Vietnam era, when he was involved in cloud seeding programs that worked to slow down the advance of Vietnamese and Korean troops. Livingston asserts that hurricane control was a national priority of the government more than 40 years ago, and that the technology was fully operational to control weather at the time, in the 60s. In the above interview, Livingston explains how for decades the U.S. government has had the power to both lessen and increase the severity of adverse weather for their own purposes. Dr. Livingston was assigned in 1966 from the Naval Weapons Research Laboratory to a Marine fighter squadron in Vietnam. Instead of guns, the aircraft under Livingston's control were fitted with cloud seeding equipment. My mission was to find clouds and seed them for maximum precipitation value, he stated. Dr. Livingston presents evidence from the Stanford Research Institute, who were brought into the Project Storm Fury, a weather control program, in the late 60s as a third party, which stated conclusively that knowledge of how to stop hurricanes had been uncovered, and that they could be directly liable should a hurricane hit and cause extensive damage and loss of life. 4 decades later, Livingston exposes how the devastation caused by Hurricane Katrina could have been greatly minimized, but was allowed to fully impact the Gulf states for political reasons. Having personally flown on 265 missions into the eyes of hurricanes, Livingston remarks that he was disgusted by the failure to lessen the impact of Katrina. Livingston's revelations that weather control has been a decades-long program in which the United States government has been deeply involved are particularly alarming, given the abundant modern-day evidence of how chemtrails are being used to warp out our environment in a secret geoengineering plot that threatens a myriad of unknown human health and ecological consequences.
Yeah. And just for everybody out there, know that it's funny how our topics and how we decide we're coming about them. It's crazy. Just days before, usually, we rarely have a topic ready to go. We'll be like, what the fuck do we want to talk about? And usually we're like, well, we gotta let the muse push it forth into existence for us. Yeah. Right? And a few days ago, about Friday, I mentioned HAARP. I said, we've never talked about HAARP. I was like, HAARP is kind of important.
We have a massive pile of topics. Yeah. I think that's why we have such a hard time picking them.
But I was like, how about HAARP? And you're like, well, let's wait on HAARP because
it's not storm
season.
It's
not storm season.
It is, I guess, but we haven't had one happen.
And we were like, let's wait until something happens so that it would be a good segue, right? Well, then lo and behold, yesterday I get off work and we had another topic planned for today, but then I looked on my news and saw that Tropical Storm Gordon is gaining some serious traction in the Caribbean. Yeah. And is gearing up to hit the fucking Gulf Coast states. Yeah. And I was like, holy shit. I was like, well, there you go.
Yeah. The muse provideth.
Yeah, you're right. But yeah, so the notion is that, back in the 60s, so we're talking almost over 60 years ago.
Yeah.
Or about 60 years ago.
50-ish. 50, 60. In that hyphen.
Yeah. They had already hypothesized and figured out that you could affect the weather.
And proven it roughly 265 times.
Yeah. You could either make it rain, you can make it rain more, you can make it rain less.
You could steer them.
Yeah. By using different chemicals and different applications to said things. And they said this 50, 60 years ago. And yet we still have tropical storm season and hurricane season every year. And it causes billions of dollars in damage.
Lots of loss of
and
life.
Lots of loss of life. And lots of government control afterward.
Yeah, we still have government mouthpieces that are blaming volcanoes on man-made global warming.
Yeah.
If you watch you go back to Hurricane Katrina, and you watch how it was tracking. I watched a video before. It was a local news affiliate talking about it. It looked like it was going to go back out to sea. And then all of a sudden it just changes direction and goes straight up.
Yeah.
Right? One might be led to believe that perhaps they steered it. I mean, we already know that at the very least they allowed it to happen. So, if it was for a political purpose, who's to say that they didn't steer it, in fact?
So you have two options here. They deliberately let it happen.
Yeah.
Without affecting it, knowing that they could.
Gross negligence,
or they intended it to happen and they made the hurricane change its direction.
Right.
Because if you could steer a hurricane in the right direction, you could certainly steer it in the wrong direction too.
For sure.
Now, the whole notion of being able to affect how a hurricane gets steered and whatnot, I believe goes back to the notions of affecting the ionosphere.
Yeah.
Because in theory, if you can manipulate the ionosphere, you can not only change the course of a hurricane, you could also basically completely neutralize it.
Mm-hmm. Yes. I saved and shared two videos on our Facebook page. If you guys go to facebook.com/bones and tubs, you've got two documentaries titled Angels Don't Play This HAARP. HAARP. And it is premium. It's by one Dr. Nick Begich. Check it out.
And the other thing that definitely raises alarm in my head as I was doing the research for this, as it should for everybody else, is how much information you can find based on this theory, right?
Yeah.
So like I said, to actually find anything involving the insidious things that HAARP could be about, it requires about 4 or 5 pages of Google searches before you find it.
Yes.
It's buried deep enough so that you're layman. And the thing is, the first page of articles, if you type in, for example, just give you an idea how you can do it, HAARP conspiracy. Just type that in. It would make sense that the first things you would find would be conspiracies about HAARP, would it not?
Weaponized weather.
You'd be wrong, though.
Yeah.
When you type in HAARP conspiracy, the first page is only mainstream media articles about debunking any HAARP conspiracy.
It's funny how that works, isn't it?
Yeah. Now, to take it a step further here, so we would go on to say, okay, so if this was true, wouldn't there be people who'd be wanting to stop it, right? This whole notion of geoengineering, changing the course of weather on Earth and whatnot, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. Twice, representatives of Rhode Island, way to go, Rhode Island. I don't know why you came out of the fucking woodwork for this one.
Woo.
But twice they've put up bills to stop all forms of geoengineering in the state of Rhode Island.
Yeah. That's fine. Keep it up.
Yeah. So that being said, we have this one little state who is taken a stand apparently against quote unquote geoengineering. Mm-hmm. So if there wasn't any cause for alarm, why would they do it in the first place?
Yeah.
That's the question you got to ask yourself.
As we've got our hands held together in this marriage of topic between Ben Livingston and his proof of the chemtrail program, which is just like HAARP. If you type in chemtrails into Google, the first couple pages are nothing but debunk, misinformation, fake news, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
But if you Google solar radiation management, you'll find scholarly articles that have been cited over 500 times. It gets you right past the bullshit, right into the actual news about chemtrails, but they just call them radiation management.
Yeah.
It's all about terms.
Yeah, and that's the thing. What's crazy is I saw a couple interviews on YouTube with mainstream scientists, like dudes who are the supposed talking heads, who you normally would think are Project Mockingbird shills, talking about how they know for a fact that you can use the technology to affect the weather exists.
Yeah. You mentioned the ionosphere too. In order for HAARP to be effective, they charge the radio waves or radio signals that they shoot out of the antennas from HAARP in Alaska into the ionosphere to affect weather in certain areas.
Yeah.
Some people speculate it could work on sub-level in the ground, creating earthquakes, creating volcanic disturbance, creating anything underground, or in the sky, creating, steering, managing storms, stuff like that. Well, this reflective aerosols that they're spraying from the planes, if you notice, some areas are heavily laden with chemtrails one day and not the other. I mean, I don't know. You can find all kinds of shit about grid line patterns in the sky, and then weather happening the next couple of days, like crazy-ass weather, storms and shit.
Yeah. But
the evidence is right above your head.
Yeah, so basically this facility was created. For years it was under government control. Yes. We were told of what I believe to be a fiction about what it was supposed to be about.
Research.
And then after years, the government sells the facility. Right.
Private company
owns it. But here's the kicker. So if this is just supposed to be a standalone research facility on ionosphere activity involving we were told was the involving, because it's the auroral facility, right? It's supposed to be gauging these aurora borealises, these cosmic solar waves that are hitting the ionosphere, right?
Yeah.
Why would they started to be put in other parts of the world where there isn't aurora borealis?
Because that story's bullshit.
There you go.
They're using it as a weapon, maybe?
A weapon or what have you, which then leads you to wonder, like, if they really could affect the weather and they were being benevolent about it, wouldn't they, like, end drought in certain areas? And and like, say for example, like, couldn't you just make it rain like a shitload, or at least like regularly, over California, so they stop having these fucking wildfires all the time?
Yeah, technically deserts shouldn't exist. Right. We'd have more than enough food. We've already talked about artificial scarcity before.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't have massive loss of life and natural disasters. You wouldn't have starvation like you have.
Or you take it in the other direction. How about you stop doing it?
Yeah. Well, that's the thing with the solar radiation management. I've seen a couple congressional interviews where they talked about what would happen if they stopped. Now that they've started, the scientists were warning before they started this project with the chemtrails and the upper ionosphere manipulation, and they were like, you can do this, but if you ever stop it, it's going to be all bad. It's going to be catastrophic. Talking about all the ways the weather will have to reset itself to sort of purge the chemicals and all that.
I watched one video where the guy prides himself on being a skeptic, right? And tries to debunk as many conspiracy theories as possible, which I think that's admirable in its own way.
Yeah. And
the crazy part is he did a 2-part video about HAARP. He basically came to the conclusion that, like, he couldn't exactly say, the conspiracy theories around HAARP were fiction. Because there's so much crazy shit, like, involved with it, and like people's attitudes toward it. He said that even just on that alone, he's like, even when you have scientists out there saying, oh no, they're fucking controlling the weather with this shit, I mean, or you have representatives from tiny little states saying, we're not going to allow geoengineering on our state. That being said, this guy couldn't debunk it. He couldn't say that it was a fiction, and he went on to say that he at least was semi-convinced by some of the conspiracy theories revolving around HAARP because of the fervent denial by some people and the cooperation of other organizations, i.e. Wikipedia, who completely dismisses any notion that HAARP is anything but just a research array. The other theory around it is that the HAARP installation itself wasn't actually anything that could control the weather, but it was basically they were using it as a means to figure out how to control the weather. It was trying to unlock the secrets of the ionosphere so that they could actually affect it using different technology. Just
thought I'd show you this too. I don't know if you're hip. This is another level of research I've been doing over the past 2 years. You see these planes in the sky, I know some people will say that the chemtrails and the HAARP are two different things, but I refuse to believe that. I think they're all the same thing.
Yeah.
I would watch these fucking planes. You know, some of them have the long trails behind them, some of them don't. And I'd wondered before, you know, maybe it's the weather. Maybe it's the temperature or whatever's going on up there that create these things. And then, you know, you'll see videos on YouTube of, like, commercial flights with people on them where they're showing out the window, like the trail leaving the engine. And that is created by humidity or whatever it might be. But anytime you see a plane doing the actual chemtrail that turns into a cloud system, or, like, sometimes I'll look up and see a checker pattern or some type of crazy shit that doesn't look normal. If you look at this, you can aim it at the sky, whatever direction you're at, and see, like, oh, there's a plane right there. We're in Eaton, Ohio right now. There's one flying over Gratis. You pull it up, and it shows you a picture of the plane, shows you the tail number, shows you where it's from or where it's headed. But anytime you see one of those ones involved in some type of crazy shit, it's always a white plane. It's either not on here, on the Flight Radar app that supposedly has every single flight, or it just says, information not available. Doesn't tell you if it's a private owner, doesn't tell you what kind of plane it is.
So,
and it's not registered as a commercial flight or a private flight.
Well, see, and that's the thing, though. Like, anybody with half a brain can look at this stuff and know there's something else going on, because if you're watching planes in the sky, and sometimes they do leave a trail behind them, that trail, you could literally watch it with your own vision dissipate.
Right.
And dissolve after a short period of time. The chemtrails don't. They stay in the sky for an excessive amount of time. Yeah. Anybody can see that, and you don't see them dissipate either. At least in the ability, like, to perceive it in regular time.
Right. If anyone's interested, the app's called Flight Radar 24. It's on your app store.
That's the part I have a problem with.
Yeah. I think it's easier too for a lot of people. Like, a lot of people are fence riders or lukewarm. You know, sometimes, and when you start talking to people about chemtrails or HAARP, they automatically have an opinion based on what they've absorbed. Yeah. If they're not already curious. And they're like, oh, chemtrails are fake. I saw it on the news. It's just easier to live in your fucking apathy, isn't it? Yeah. It's just more comfortable to believe that you have control because you know it's not real.
If someone ever said that to my face, I'd probably just walk away.
Would you throw up in their mouth like a baby bird?
I don't know. It had to be something pretty crazy for me to do that.
Yeah.
But, like, because I've had, like, conversations, not about HAARP, but other things before where I'm talking about this, and there's obvious evidence that there's something going on.
Yeah, clearly.
And somebody's just like, oh, well.
It's fake.
Yeah. I walk away.
Snopes says it's fake.
You're not worth my time anymore.
Yeah, you are a babe.
Yeah.
Go drink your milk, babe.
You're wasting my time.
You can't have any of this meat.
Yeah.
Pearls before swine, as you say.
Ooh-wee. Oh, definitively.
There's definitely enough we've seated you with to look up if you're interested in those topics. You know, I mean, as you should be, because it affects us all. There's also something tied to it with the massive tree die-off that's been going on. I mean, I'm sure you've noticed that in your life, right?
Yeah.
Which is fine. I mean, the trees aren't, it's not like they're the lungs of the planet or anything.
Yeah.
They don't give us what we need to breathe.
Yeah. It's like Spaceballs.
It's no big deal. You could definitely just keep that in mind when it comes to any stories about hurricanes that you see. You'll know at least then that it's bar none. You know, bare minimum, it's gross negligence, any damage that's caused.
Yeah.
This is I don't know. That's really all you can say about it. You know, I mean, if you guys want to, you got a couple hours of documentary to watch. Angels Don't Play This HAARP. You want to get into a deeper look at it.
Yeah.
Projects for Solar Radiation Management is all the things you'll need about scholarly articles on chemtrails. So we've pretty much covered all that.
Yeah, I tell you, I also want to talk about, because we talked about it yesterday, because you said you had done some searching on the deep web.
Oh, yeah.
And so you found people who are willing to give you fake certificates and
yeah, I started
like degrees.
Yeah, I'll start with a little quick preamble from the I don't even know, we don't have a nickname, the Inside Man.
There you go.
We don't have a nickname, but we just made that. So the Inside Man and I were having a conversation about the deep web or the dark web, whatever you're fancy, and just talking about how creepy it is. You know, I don't know why it's creepy, but I think it's just the pure ANCAP, the pure ANCAP society where you can go and buy anything.
Pure ANCAP could be a little bit scary.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's all kinds of like greasy shit on there. You know, like just don't look at any porn because it's bad.
Yeah, and it's sounding like you could virtually it's the real black market.
Yeah.
The one that people talk
yeah.
about that know nothing about it. Like, so you can buy degrees.
Any kind of drug that you could
Any
imagine.
kind of drug.
If you go, I'm not sure if you can do it with an iPhone, but I've got an Android, so I went to Google and I typed in Orbot, which is one that the Inside Man told me to get. And Orbot is a VPN that changes your position all the time. So let's see where I'm at right now. Presently, I'm in France.
Oh.
Yeah, and it changes every so often. Yeah, sacre bleu. As often as it wants, it changes your position. And then you also get an app called Orfox, which is a Tor browser that also has a VPN. You got double VPN action. They don't know where I am, and that's fine. Mm-hmm. And I then went to Reddit and looked up either dark web or deep web search engine, and it'll bring you like different sites to look, because everything's unindexed.
Yeah.
Unindexed? Not indexed. So you can go through and look, and I'm finding all these ones, like some are online, some are offline, because they have different hours of operation. Mm-hmm. But like you buying cocaine or buy like any pharmaceutical drug you can think of, anything, steroids, all kinds of crazy shit. Well, then I started seeing, like, I'm looking for fake IDs just to see what it's all about.
Yeah.
And they had like the various states, they've got an actual machine, because they're selling you the real ID.
Yeah.
You know, full of the holograms and all the little hidden ink messages and all that. And you get your own name. It's scannable. It works in a traffic stop. It's crazy as fuck. You pay for everything with crypto because it's less trackable or not trackable.
Yeah.
And then somewhere on there, I've yet to find it, but it's an interesting talk of finding a degree.
Yeah.
And like transcripts from a college to say like, oh yeah, I've got a bachelor's or a master's or associates, whatever it might be, in A, B, or C degree. So we started talking about it yesterday, and we're like, well, what are some good professions that you could get a fake one in that
you could fake it till you make it?
Yeah,
like you wouldn't fuck it up too bad. I was like, there's ones you definitely don't want to do.
Well, you don't want to get ones that aren't effective, ones that people pay hundreds of thousands of dollars for. I got a master's in feminine studies,
Yeah.
you know, or social justice insert
you don't want to
topic.
do something like that because that's useless.
It's a waste of time.
You know,
If that's a waste of your $300.
I hate to say it, but even like philosophy and shit like that, like really, what are you, other than being a philosophy teacher,
Yeah.
you're not going to get a job anywhere being a philosopher.
Theoretically, you could get a job for a lot less than getting your actual degree work, and most of it, there are some things that you shouldn't do. You don't want to be a doctor.
Yeah, we talked about that. You definitely didn't want to be like a doctor or anything.
And then we got to dentistry, and I fucking lost my mind because we're thinking like, you know, I show up to work, somehow I get a job as a dentist because I've got a master's or a doctorate in dentistry.
Yeah.
And I'm just in there in the white coat, and somebody comes in, and next thing you know, they're screaming, and I'm trying to drill into their tooth because it's, you know, in your mind it makes sense. You put the drill where the black spot is, and you dig in there and you fill it with whatever. Well, actually, I'm not a fucking dentist, so I didn't know how much of what to put where, and I might have forgot to numb you. And then, you know, I turn up the gas and you die.
Yeah.
So that's probably not a good idea. Well, then it led me down another rabbit hole about those dentists that were fucking their patients for a while. Like, could you just imagine the amount of bodies, the amount of children? You'd be like a modern day Genghis Khan. You'd have, like, the entire state of Ohio has genetic ties to bones.
You have you have like a woman comes in, and then 5 years down the road she brings her whole family in for dentist work, and strangely enough they all look like you.
All the heads are huge and they have Amish beards. Oh,
must take after their mother.
Yeah, that's weird how that happens.
But I said a good one that you might be able to fake it till you make it is, and he didn't agree with me, but you said you couldn't do it personally because you said the mess involved. And I said be a veterinarian.
Yeah.
I said because I mean think about it, you're making that good doctor money.
I took my dog in to get checked out for a teeth cleaning, and it died.
Yeah,
you know.
I was just saying, yeah, you're not making the good doctor money.
No.
I mean you're making good money, but you also don't have human patients.
Right.
So you know, human patients or animal patients, I should say, can't really talk about how terrible of a doctor you are.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, your work might show.
Right.
But I was like, how hard is it really to like neuter an animal? I was like, you could spend like a couple weeks studying the different drugs that you have to give animals for things, and I was like, you might be straight.
Well, fuck. I mean, I was talking to the Irishman at work. He was talking about taking his cat over to get fixed by his buddy.
Yeah.
Just some dude he knows. Puts the cat in a boot. It's like one of those rubber boots. And it just like cuts his nuts open, pulls him out, laps him off, and the cat's and takes off.
Holy shit.
So, I mean, it can't be that hard if they're doing it in like backyards and stuff.
That's what I'm saying. And plus, like, if an animal dies, listen.
If he dies, he dies.
I've had animals die at the vet before. It sucks.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's not a person.
No, I guess. You say that until it's Queenie, then you take it to
Don't even.
a fake veterinarian. Like,
Yeah.
what's that doctor in Fallout? He's like, you got anything wrong with you? Here's hoping.
Yeah.
You know, because he's going to make his bottle caps off you.
Exactly. But not. Then I said there's a possibility you could just get a law degree.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I'm pretty sure that's the whole notion of, like, being a lawyer is being a world-class bullshitter.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, it's just, you just have to know the, like, there are rules to the art of bullshitting. You know what I mean? Especially if you're doing it in the legal sense.
Certainly.
So you have to at least know the you know, the anatomy of law. So, but like I said, how long could that really take to just figure out, like, just the nomenclature of being a lawyer and then using your skillful abilities as a bullshitter to just work out the rest?
Yeah.
You know? I mean, I was like, there's other degrees you might very well get. We did mention criminal justice.
Yeah, that's obviously one where you could fake it till you make it.
Yeah.
Then we kind of went off on another tangent. We were talking about fucking with Dr. Doug Hurdy, you know, because he used to work with us at the Factory of Sadness, and then he left to pursue an education
As a scientist.
And Tubbs was like, what would he do if wherever he ended up going to be a scientist, he got there and we already found out we were managers? Because there's another service you can get on the deep web where I saw this hacker from the Eurozone.
Yeah.
And he has no morals whatsoever when it comes to, like, he'll take your money and he'll fuck up anybody's life that you want him to for the right price. He was talking about economic sabotage, knocking their websites down with a DDoS attack, denial of service, or spear phishing. And then he's like, I'll even put child porn on their computer and contact the proper authorities. So we were like, man, could you imagine? You just like, you get a basic job as a scientist, right? In a fake science degree. Real science place, fake science degree. And then when Dr. Doug Hurdy gets there, we're doing the interviews.
Yeah.
Like,
so basically,
how did you guys not only get a job here, but you also are in managers' positions? Well, it's funny. Everyone above us got arrested for child pornography.
Yeah. So what makes you think, Dr. Doug Hurdy, that you're qualified for this job?
Yeah.
And he's just like, he gives us that fucking look he has.
Really? Yeah, like, I've got a degree. I did my best for this, and you're just here.
Do you have a degree?
Yeah.
Do you?
It says here you went to Miami of Oxford.
Yeah.
Really?
That's a shitty school. You see mine? Look at mine.
Yeah.
I went to Harvard, motherfucker.
Yeah. I went to Yale, too. Harvard and Yale, 2 master's degrees.
Yeah. What do you got?
Oh, no.
Oh, you went to Miami of Oxford.
I spent $1,000.
Yeah. Dumbass.
What's funny is that the casting couch #MeToo movement, you know, that would be created because I'm doing the interview and he looks over and he just sees one of those dentist chemical bottles of gas and I'm just... The pregnancy continues.
But no, I mean, and then, like I said, there's so many jobs I think you could pull it off and nobody would be the wiser.
Yeah.
Like, half of them, if you just walked around with a manila folder in your hand all the time, nobody would fuck with you.
Clipboard.
And I was like, you could, I mean, and here's the thing. I'm not, please don't think I'm trying to diminish people's careers by any means.
No.
You guys do serious work.
Right.
We just play around on here.
We joke, we kid.
We kid. But, like, imagine you just go and be an accountant.
Yeah.
Right? Like, in all reality, like, I think I could fake it, at least with a lot of people, like, you know, be their accountant and do their taxes for them. And really, I just have the TurboTax fucking program.
Right.
Like, oh, man, you know, it was a hard year, you know. I did your taxes for you, and, you know, I managed to, you know, get in a couple of them loopholes for you.
Yeah.
And figured it out. You know, you're going to get some money back, but, you know, I got to get my cut.
Yeah.
You know, I did that extra good work for you. So I need my money now.
For sure. What's funny is, like, you know, I'd get this job. Let's just say I'm like an upper executive because I went to Yale for business.
Yeah.
And I acquired a master's degree. And I go in my office and I'm like, the door's shut, the blinds are drawn, and I'm like, that's the oh shit moment. Now it's time to fake it, right?
Yeah.
Paperwork's coming in, things are needing to be done, and I'm on my phone on Google, and I type in virtual personal assistant. And then I go here, and I'm the next thing you know, I'm in India, and I'm shopping for a personal assistant that's promising me the world.
Yeah.
And now he's doing all my work for $7 an hour.
Well,
and I'm a star.
Yeah, as I say, theoretically, what you could do, you could just get it on virtual assistant, or like basically, if you wanted to get a degree in business, you hire like a grad student who's going to school for business.
Yeah.
Like, listen, I just need someone to do this extra paperwork of mine, and I'll pay you like, I'll give you like $20 an hour to do it, and that'll be good. And I'm pulling down like, $650,000 a year with stock options. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like $20 an hour really it's not really gonna hurt me.
It's not gonna affect
your life. And he thinks he's getting that good experience in the business world. And then I turn all of his shit in. They're like, "Holy fuck, you're a genius!" And I'm like, "You goddamn right, I'm a genius."
That's why you pay me to do what I do.
And then I tell the guy that's doing all my work for me, "Hey, when you get out, I'll talk to the CEO and see if I can get you, something starting out." And then right before he's about to graduate, I hire the guy that puts child porn on people's computers, and then bing bang boom, he goes to prison. Yeah. And then I find the next grad student.
Yeah.
It's just a vicious cycle of me fucking people over. But, I mean, here's the thing. In the grand scheme of things, I mean, that's what, like, basically, like, Wall Street does and all that anyway. So what am I, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I learned it from watching you.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, fuck out. This is dangerous territory.
I know.
This is assassination politics for real.
That's what I said. Yeah. I was like... That's what I said yesterday. I was like, this is assassination politics. You fuck somebody's life up.
If you go back to our previous catalog of episodes, our episode on assassination politics is both on point and, it's a well-oiled machine. It was so well that the actual creator of the article that went to prison commented, "Great job, guys."
Yeah.
So check that out. Assassination Politics by Bones and Tubes.
Yeah. So imagine, like... One day you like go to get download the podcast and listen to it because that's what you like to do. You listeners out there, that's who I'm talking to. Yeah. And you look down and there's not a new episode. You're like, what the fuck? And then you're all bummed and you go to work that day and then you come home and you sit down. You're like, you sit down to watch your favorite program with your wife and your family, and that's Shark Tank. Mm-hmm. And you click on the TV and all of a sudden you see Bones and Tubbs on the Shark Tank panel.
Oh shit.
And we're suddenly CEOs of fucking Fortune 500 companies, And you're like, whoa, how the fuck did they get there? And like, you're like, why does Bones have a tank of fucking laughing gas with him?
Why are they both petting cats? We both have cats in our laps like Dr. Evil and a healthy amount of sleepy gas.
And we're both wearing eccentric costumes. It's not outside the realm of possibility in this brave new world.
Clearly not.
When the lights go out, I feel like that's everybody's refresh button. So everybody comes back whatever they want to be. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I want to be a rich CO man.
I've got an Indiana ID that, when pulled up through the NCIS system, will tell you that I am Steven Stevenson.
Yeah. Holy shit. I'm the Attorney General of... the great state of Michigan. How did that even happen?
Right. Well, it checks out.
Well, I'm also the vice governor of Texas at the same time.
78 master's degrees, all from various high-level institutions.
And I'm the CEO of 4 different corporations.
Yeah, and anyone that stood in my way went to prison.
I believe we just defined the American dream.
That's why the MP has to happen.
Yeah.
Because we figured out the cheat code.
Yeah. We put on God mode for a little while.
Right.
And then when we were good, we took it back off again.
Yeah.
That's how it works.
Just kind of rode the coaster.
Exactly.
Give you guys a little heads up now that we're done with I wouldn't say we're done, but whatever. We just went through our tangent. The deep web possibilities. Hopefully everybody checks that out. There was a QAnon post that I want everyone to be with this week. I want you all to think about this. It is if you go to the qmap.pub, number 2070, what is the common theme when bad news is about to break against them, meaning the power elite? And then he just says, stay vigilant, Q. He's alluding to false flag terror. So he thinks, and it makes sense. There's possibility. They've got to do something to change the narrative. Mm-hmm. Something, maybe an active shooter, probably something bigger than that. Yeah. False flag attack.
We haven't had a big active shooter thing. We've had a couple little skirmishes, but nothing huge here lately.
We haven't had a 9/11 since 9/11/01.
Yeah, and we're encroaching upon 9/11.
Yeah. We should do 9/11 on 9/11, because that's a podcast day.
Is it a podcast day?
I think so. Do you have a calendar?
Oh, let me see. It might be. Goddamn calendar pops up.
Bitch.
There we go. Yes, it is a podcasting day.
That's the muse right there,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Isn't it the muse?
I would say so. We already picked our topic for next week. It picked itself.
Oh, it's next week? God, fuck me.
Yeah.
Damn, son.
Yeah. Time flies.
When you're eating cake and talking about sleepy gas and...
Carrying around tanks of laughing gas with you all the time.
Yeah. Man.
But yeah. Well, I would go on to say I think that probably wraps up the episode. We're on that good time.
We did the good work. We gave you the seeds, the cloud seeds to plant in your cloud garden.
Hey, and go get your doctorate tomorrow.
Yeah.
Literally.
Check out those apps. Go on the deep web. Don't do anything illegal because that's illegal.
Like, I want to be able to, like, oh, I got a sore throat and I go to the doctor, and I'm like, I look at the name on the wall of the doctor that's there, and I'm like, oh, it's Dr. Blankenship.
Yeah. I prescribe the mayonnaise sandwiches.
I like walk in and I smell mayonnaise and Diet Coke.
Yeah.
And I already know. And you know what? I'm just going to be like, you know what? I trust you.
I see the degree on the wall.
Yeah.
It looks well worn.
Yeah. It looks like you had a good tenure at Harvard, and then looks like you had a good tenure as a Rhodes Scholar as well.
Yeah. Who am I to judge you based on your appearance?
Yeah, exactly.
Just because you're dressed like an old school, like old Western sheriff with a badge that just says sheriff on it.
Who am I?
I'm not.
Chase your fucking bliss.
Chase your bliss. I'm not that guy. You smell of grass clippings and mayonnaise, but I mean, you're a fucking doctor. I came in for a sore throat. What do we need sleepy gas for? And the next thing you know, your ass hurts.
Yeah, doctor and landscapist.
Man.
Anyways, not a lot of people are going to get that joke, but that's okay.
That's fine. That's the inner circle.
All right.
If you want to know about it, hit us up on Instagram /Bones and Tubs. And hit us in the DM. We'll tell you the story.
Yeah. All right. We'd like to thank you all for listening.
Yes.
Go check out our Instagram. Always trying to post juicy memes when we find them.
Memes, truth,
all sorts of stuff.
Meme truth meme.
Check out our Facebook page.
It's pretty much our show notes.
Yeah. Go check out our
Twitter
and
.com/Bones Tubs.
And go check out our website, www.bonesandtubs.com, where you'll find all those new episodes. If that's how you want to listen to it, that's okay. Otherwise, we're on all the other podcatchers. iTunes, fuck that up. iTunes, Stitcher, BeyondPod, what have you.
Yeah,
we're there.
Pretty much all of them.
Go check out our Patreon if you're feeling extra froggy and join that nation.
Yeah, join the nation for as little as $1 a month.
Yeah. If you want to get a free t-shirt or enter for a chance of a free t-shirt, go on and give us a review. Screenshot that shit. Put that in our inbox. We love to see it.
bonesandtubs@gmail.com.
Yeah. But, well, we hope you have a good week, and we hope those who are in the path of Hurricane Gordon all find safety and security.
Yeah.
And we hope you have a good week.
We love you.
We really do.